What's up, Lazy Dog fam? Hope everybody out there is having a marvelous day. Today on the homestead, we're going to be digging our garlic and getting this plot ready to plant some popcorn. Uh-oh, here's Tata. Wait on Tata. Okay, Tata, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So we got to get our plot ready to plant one more succession of summer squash, cucumbers, and then our popcorn. And the only thing in this plot that still in there is this elephant garlic, and it's been in there a long time. We planted this stuff in November, so you got November, December, January, February, March, April. Here it is, the middle to the end of May, so it's been in the ground 7 months. It's time for it to go.
It's time. It's garlic time. It's time. It's garlic time.
What are you doing to her?
I'm rubbing her.
Alright, so down here in the south we grow elephant garlic because the standard hardneck, softneck garlics are a little tough to grow down here because it always or doesn't always get cold enough for them to stratify or actually form individual cloves. So we grow elephant garlic and it does really well for us. Oh, you pulled one up already. Good job. So we can see right here these kind of hard stems. This is where it's already gone to seed.
Look what we got. Seeds.
Yep, those are called corms.
Are they seeds?
Yeah, you can replant those.
Yeah.
But you can see there that tough part where it's gone to seed. I cut all those off. And the plants haven't died back completely yet. But like I said, I'm ready to get these guys out of here. I did run the drip.
Daddy, I'm planting one.
Are you replanting them?
Yeah.
I did run the drip yesterday just so these would be easier to pull up. We may can pull them up. We may have to dig them. There we go.
They're different.
So we can see right here, sometimes it's hard to tell where the individual cloves are until they dry a little. Once they dry out, we'll be able to tell. Those are the little corms right there. You can replant those too. Let me show you how to do this. So we're going to knock the dirt off of them. Look. Knock the dirt off of them, and then we're going to go lay them right here in the grass. Come here. Look. Look, look, Tata. We're going to lay them right here in a row, just like that, so they can dry. I don't think we're going to have to dig them. I think we can pull them all up. You gotta be, oh, gotta be strong. All right, knock the dirt off.
And I want to plant it.
Can you get it?
Dad, this one's a great one.
That, you can't get it up?
Yep. Not really.
Grab it with both hands like this. There you go. See this stuff right here, honey? Some people eat this. This is a weed called poke.
Is it good?
I don't know. I've never tried it, but they call it, you make poke salad with it. But evidently there's a real specific way to cook it. I've never eaten it. But we have it pop up in the garden every now and then. Poke. P-O-K-E. No, don't put them in the wheelbarrow.
Please, Dad.
We gotta let them dry out outside.
You get that one. That one. So that. This one is a big one.
Someone looks wet.
Dad, that's a good one.
That is a good one. Pull it up. Here. Here, I'll help you. Oh, there you go.
Whoa.
Whoa. So you see here we got some pretty good sized ones there. Also got a few small ones like that. But these little things here called corms. Abram thought we were saying corn. Some people will replant these, and I think it takes 2 years, but these will end up making viable garlic. I've never replanted them, although some of them are still in the soil and they kind of just stay there. We always just kind of save some cloves from these and replant them from year to year. So what we'll do here is log truck. We'll just leave these out here to dry for a few days. We don't want them to get wet. If we see it's going to rain, we'll put them underneath the barn. We'll just leave them out here to dry, and for all this to get kind of crispy. They'll cure out here, and once these tops are nice and dry, we'll move them underneath the barn. Same place we put our onions. Bubby, why don't you get some of these? These are really pretty. Cut it further down than that.
Is this good?
Yeah, right there's good.
We're going to put these in a smaller vase.
Yeah, now you can put that in a jar.
Well, one little tiny bouquet. Yeah, cut them further down, like cut them right here. Cut it right here.
Will they sprout in that?
I'm not sure, we'll have to see.
On the side, look, there's bees right there. Look at that bee. He's inside that flower there. See? All right, so we got the garlic pulled. It was nice that it did actually pull out of the ground for the most part. We didn't have to dig it. But now it's time for some cleanup. So this side of the plot here, where we had our onions, we were able to keep relatively clean. So not a whole lot of issues there. But we do got to rebury some of these tape lines. And this tape here, I don't know, it's been recycled several times. I think I can get one more use out of it with this popcorn. We'll just have to see. But I'm pretty sure there's a few leaks out there. I turned on all the rows the other day and saw a few little spouts coming out. So probably need to fix a few leaks. This over here is what really needs to clean up. So they let the grass get away from us and the garlic a little bit. So we need to pull up these lines, come in here with a wheel hoe, cultivate, probably take our oscillating hoe and cut all that grass there, rake it out, get all this cleaned up, and then we can rebury those drip lines and we'll be ready to plant.
Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my charm. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright, cause I'm free than I've ever been before.
Phew, all right. That's about like work right there. Now, one of the reasons I chose this plot for the popcorn, besides the fact that it was open, was that we already had 3-foot row spacing in here. That's what we did on our onions, and that's what we'll do on our corn. So it made it real easy. I left everything connected up there to the main line, and I just had to remake my furrows. So we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of popcorn, which should be a plenty. And then over here, I skipped what was one of the onion or garlic rows. We're gonna do a row of squash right here, and then I skipped another one, and we're gonna do our cucumbers right here, those Supremo cucumbers. So what I'll do is down here on the end, or at the beginning, where I have these 2 lines that I'm not using, I'll just put a goof plug in those holes. We'll pull those row starts out, we'll plug those up, and we'll just save those lines. We can use them on any of these other plots out here in the Dream Garden that are all 30-foot long. Now on this side of the plot where we had all that crabgrass, which you can see piled up over there, we definitely had to pull up the lines so we could cultivate and get all that junk out of there. Over here where it was pretty clean, we could have just took our hilling plows and just covered that tape with that. But anytime I like to plant something, or anytime I'm going to plant something, I like to amend the furrow. So that's why I wanted to pull up the tape, make a new furrow so we could put some amendment in there. So let's go get our amendment, get it down, and we can lay our tape down and check for any leaks. Now for the last several years, this is what I use as a pre-plant amendment, this Harmony 543 here, and it works great. But as I showed you on a previous vlog, I got some of this stuff right here. My buddy Andrew from Nature Safe brought me. This is an 855, so a little more nutrient content than that 543, although this is probably going to be a little bit slower because it's not made with pelleted hem manure like that other is. This is made with meat and bone meal, feather meal, blood meal, and sulfate of potash. There's a little bit of ammoniacal or fast nitrogen in it. Most of this is slow stuff, but we're going to give this a try in the furrows as opposed to that 543 and see how we like it. Now just like that 1300 that we used on our sweet corn, which is looking green and fabulous by the way, this stuff here is pelleted, looks like animal feed. And from what I remember Andrew telling me, a lot of their fertilizers are from recycled products, so they take stuff out of the waste cycle that is used to make animal feed and stuff like that. Maybe when he's on the vlog he can tell you more about it, but it's a nice pelleted form there, so it's easy to put down. And the good thing about this stuff is you don't really have to worry about putting too much in there. So we're just going to liberally sprinkle this in the furrow, and then we'll put our tape lines back down. All right, and the furrows have been amended and the tape is laid back down in the furrows. Just to give you an idea of how thick I put that stuff down, you can see right there. So I used, I don't know how big that chemical mixing container is right there, but I used about 3/4 of one of those per 30-foot row. Now you probably could have got by with half of one of those, or if you would have used a whole one per 30-foot row, it probably would have been just fine. That's just about on average what I did. I didn't measure it out, just kind of tried to shake it all at the same rate there, but you can see just about how thick it is. There's a nice color contrast with that light color pelleted fertilizer on that dark composty soil there. So now let's turn on the water and see if we got any leaks. And it's way easier to patch a leak when this stuff is not buried as opposed to when it's buried. I got one right there. Can you see that squirting out? So there's one I need to fix. And I don't see any other geysers at the moment. Thought I had a couple on the other end, but those might have been on those lines that I didn't use. So we got one leak there, not a major one. I almost could let that ride, but it might get a little bit bigger over time. So we'll go ahead and patch that. Now most folks will say you need to turn the water off before you do this, but sometimes it's easier to do it with the water on when those lines kind of inflate. So we're going to give it a try. If we do this quick, hopefully it won't make too big of a mess. Let's go ahead and cut it right there. And we'll put this guy on here. And then we'll cut that bad spot out there. I'll put this back in there. And inflate on up there. We got a little bit of a puddle, but that'll soak in pretty quick. Oh, didn't get that one tight. Try that one more time. There we go. So those lines being inflated like that helps you get it nice and tight. There we go. We got it fixed. Made a little bit of a mess there, but not too bad. Way easier to do when this stuff is not buried, because you can still pull one side or the other and get it just right. When it's buried, you got to be careful and you got to cut just the right amount out here, or else everything don't add up. So check your leaks before you bury your tape. And now our tape is reburied and we're ready to plant. But I'm not going to plant today. Still waiting on a few seeds to come in the mail so I can plant all this plot at one time. Just to recap from previous videos, we'll be planting that I think it's R997 popcorn here. And then we got the row of cucumbers. We're going with a variety called Supremo, a pickling cucumber. And then I asked for all your suggestions on the summer squash to plant. And it seemed like the big winner was Zephyr. So definitely growing Zephyr. And then there was another type of squash everybody kept recommending, and the name escapes me. It was two Italian words, started with a C and an R. I want to say like Costata Romanesca or something like that. Maybe I'm just completely butchering that, but something similar to that. So I found the heirloom open pollinated version of that from High Mowing Seeds. I think they were one of the only people that had it. And then I found a hybrid Costata Romanesca or whatever it's called from Johnny, so we can compare the OP version to the hybrid version. So we have Zephyr and then there's two Italian zucchini types in the same row there, and we can compare those. And hopefully that gave you a good idea of how we do crop or plot turnover here. The main thing to remember is, even if you do let the weeds get out of control on you like we did around that garlic, do not go in there and till big weeds into the soil. You're going to just create more and more problems for yourself in the future. Take some kind of sharp tool, whatever you're using. If you got a wheel hoe, that works great. Cut them off, rake them out of there. Don't till any weeds or weed seeds into the soil so they can become a problem for later. And I know maybe this seemed like a lot of work, pulling up the tape, reburying the tape, but it really didn't take long. Me by myself on this 30 by 35 plot. Took me about an hour, and that's with moving the camera around and everything. If I wasn't filming this, probably could have done it in 20 minutes. So doesn't really take that long, and the time that we're gonna save by watering this with drip irrigation as opposed to overhead watering, and the water we're gonna conserve and all that, is gonna be well worth the extra time it took to really turn over this plot the right way. And as far as our elephant garlic harvest goes, I was really happy with some of the heads. These are probably some of the biggest I've ever grown. Some of these are close to softball size. Well, like I said earlier, once they dry out a little bit, we'll be able to see the individual cloves in there. And I probably could have left these out there to die back a little more. I was just ready to get them out of here and get something else planted in this plot. You can let them die back more than that, but they had already gone to seed, and it was just time to get them out of there. But if you don't have anything else you want to plant there, just let them shrivel on back even more than that. Let me know how your garlic harvest turned out. If you grew elephant garlic, have you already harvested? How's it looking? If you're growing hardneck or softneck garlic, maybe you're still waiting a little while to harvest those. And I have heard of, can't remember if it's hardneck or softneck variety. I want to say they grow it somewhere in Louisiana or maybe South Texas, but they say it's one that you can grow in the South. If any of y'all know about that variety, let me know so I can, you know, give it a try this coming fall. And look at here what Miss Brooklyn's got cooked up for supper tonight. Got some roasted broccoli and cauliflower from the garden, and then got some cabbage and hamburger meat, which doesn't sound super fancy, but it's one of our favorite meals. Really good, really quick and tasty. So good to be eating out of the garden tonight. And check out the fresh flowers from the garden. I think they got these yesterday. Some zinnias, ageratum, celosia, even some borage in there. Had a nice little touch. And then this is the one the kids got today with some cosmos, more celosia, ageratum, all kind of good stuff coming from the garden. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, ring the bell, like, and share, and we'll see you next time right here at Lazy Dog Farm.
Oh, farewell. By the beauty of your life,